All right, starting a new project today. This is one of the boards I'm going to be using just to show, not to pick on any lumber companies, but the boards you buy in a store aren't really ready to make nice products with. They're pretty smooth and somewhat straight to begin with, but like this one, this is actually a pretty good board, but it has a lot of cupping and bending just to show what you have to go through to get started. And this stock is required. This is 3/4 inch board right now, and I need 5/8 stock for this project. So I just run through real quick, show you how to start getting the lumber milled down to start a project. So I ran that through the joiner. The joiner makes a perfectly flat surface. It's not parallel to this surface yet, but it's perfectly flat. It takes out any cupping or bowing. That wasn't too bad, so one pass took it out. So the next step would be to run it through the thickness planer so that we can get it down to the 5/8 that we need. Now that our lumber is flat on one side, got rid of all the cupping and everything, now we're going to run it through the surface planer and bring it from 3/4 of an inch down to 5/8 of an inch. Now our boards are perfectly smooth on both sides and one edge, and they're exactly 5/8 of an inch thick. So we're ready for the next step. Okay, now we got our boards up on the chop saw here, and we're gonna cut them to a rough length. Now we're going to be ripping the boards for width so that we can get the patterns put on them. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put double-sided tape on and hook the two side pieces together. Which just makes it a lot easier because I'm going to use a pattern routing bit. Makes it easier to just cut one. I'm just going to try to line this up the best I can. Tip the table over. Okay, that's stuck together. And now I have a pattern that I made on my laser. I decided what I wanted for a pattern, and I just cut it out of cheap MDF, and then I can use a pattern bit to route it, and I can make multiples, so I'll be exactly the same. There, so that's all set now. That's the shape it's going to route out, and they'll be exactly the same when they come apart. I'll show you that when I get to there. So now we're going to try to trim these boards as close to the pattern as we can without cutting the pattern. You use the bandsaw for this. All right, the next step is to route our pattern with a pattern bit. It has a bearing on the top, and it follows our pattern. The bearing rides along the pattern, so it cuts out exactly what our pattern is. All right, so once we're done with the pattern bit, we can go around and we can take the patterns off and do a rough sanding of all the items and get ready for assembly. Get everything a quick sanding just to make sure everything matches up before we take them apart. All right, so the next step in the process on this project is I'm going to cut some dados on the sides of the long end to accept the sides when we glue it up. I'm going to cut those on the table saw. I'm just going to trim the bottoms to final size so they fit in the side panels. Now I sand the entire project to get ready for staining. I like to stain it before I put it together. Now we have all our pieces cut. We have the bottom cut to size. We have grooves in all the side pieces to accept the bottom. We're going to just do a dry fit on it and make sure everything fits together before we put glue on it. Looks like we have a nice tight fit. Once the inside is all sanded, I just I like to sand and stain the inside before assembly because it's really hard to get into the cracks and crevices after. Just ball up a rag, dip the rag. Give it a good coat of stain. Not much to this. I think it's a lot easier with the rag. The light color on this one. Try it, see what it looks like. I do like that color. It's not overwhelming. That's about it. Let that dry for, I don't know, an hour and I can glue it up. Okay, so this morning, all the stain is dry on the inside of the box, and I'm just going to glue it together. It's a pretty simple glue up. Just going to put a little glue on in the dados. Easiest way to do this is a piece of tape. I just throw a couple clamps on it. You don't need much of a clamp on this. Just want to put a square in and make sure it's still square, which it should be because the bottom is perfectly square. And it is. It's square all the way around. And that's it. Just let it dry up. All right. Now we're going to stain the rest of the box. The handles. I'm going to do the final touches on this box, on this carrier. Just going to glue the handles on. All right, so we're finally done with this project. And for everybody that's made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. Stay tuned. We are going to have more videos, and hopefully they'll get better as we go. Got a lot of ideas for stuff I want to do, so thank you again for watching, and stay tuned. So for you wondering what the hell it is that I've been building this whole time, anybody that knows what these trays are and has gatherings or whatever in the summer or any time of year knows if you fill these things full of potato salad or ziti or something like that, they're really not strong enough. They try to fold in half and all that. Well, over the years, whenever we've moved them around, going to gatherings or whatever, I've always slid them on a piece of plywood or a thin board, something to keep them stabilized to put in the car or whatever. Well, this is my idea of how I'm going to fix it from now on. This is the box that you just watched the video we built. And these pans go right in top. This was designed to fit. I've tried 3 or 4 different size pans. These are the medium roaster pans or the medium size just disposable tin pans. I've tried ones with top and without, and they fit right in there, and you can pick them right up. They're nice and stable. It's not heavy at all. It doesn't really add much weight to it. I haven't weighed this, but I would have to say it's less than 2 pounds. There's not much to it. So that's what we built. We'll have these available on our Etsy site. We'll have them available locally if anybody's interested in them. Watch Facebook. The Facebook will have them on there with prices. They are actually going to be customizable. I mean, this one is just like a generic saying that I put on the front. I do have one, the original prototype that I built for myself. This is ours. I didn't care for the handles that much. I feel like they're too far apart, so I went to this new style handle. Same thing, does the same thing, and this is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got our name engraved in the front of it, some little scroll work. So this summer when I'm going to gatherings or whatever, this is what we're going to take our food in. So thanks again for watching. This is BDJ Woodworking, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.